There is one ride that we all love to go on whenever we visit an amusement park. Most of the time, we associate the amusement park with this ride, and that ride is none other than a roller coaster. But there are a few things that you should not do on a roller coaster. Be sure to stay until the end of the video to find out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, so let's get in it. We all know what a roller coaster is, but for the sake of explaining, allow me to elaborate. An elevated train track with sharp twists, steep slopes, and occasionally inversions is used in roller coasters, a type of amusement ride. The rides are frequently found in theme parks and amusement parks around the world. Passengers go along the track in open vehicles. One of the earliest roller coaster designs was patented in 1885 by Lamarcus Adneth Thompson in connection with the Switchback Railway, which had debuted at Coney Island the previous year. Shuttle roller coasters show that a coaster's track doesn't necessarily need to be a full circuit. The majority of roller coasters contain several cars with seating and restraints. A train is a group of 2 or more cars that are connected. Some roller coasters only have 1 car per row, most notably Wild Mouse. Do you know there is a lot of science that's used in a roller coaster? And when I say a lot, I mean a lot. Everything is possible because of science, but even after science makes it safe for us to ride, there are a lot of things that we should be cautious about. Like, have you ever seen a sign warning to riders, keep arms and legs within the train while riding a roller coaster? Then as you turn to face the first drop of the ride, do you notice others raising their hands in the air? If so many people choose to disregard the signs, they must not be accurate. Well, both yes and no. You shouldn't put your hands up on some roller coasters around the world, but you can wave them around as much as you like on others. But why? The space surrounding a roller coaster, or rather its absence, has something to do with a response. Today, amusement ride designers build clearing envelopes into their rides, a buffer of free space that surrounds a roller coaster's train and prevents passengers from touching objects as they travel around the ride. It doesn't sound safe or comfortable to accidentally run into a bike component while moving quickly. When it comes to thrill rides, the concept of separating riders from their surroundings by a certain amount of space is actually very recent. Safety was significantly less of an issue in earlier roller coasters, notably those constructed in the early 1900s. Older wooden roller coaster designs didn't need to separate riders from their surroundings because the rides weren't so fast. Rides from the past were significantly less exhilarating than those available now. Originally, there was no restraint on roller coasters. Instead, passengers were told to hold on to the bar in front of them the entire time. Early roller coaster riders may have been unable to raise their hands in the air due to this. However, it didn't take long for rides to start getting taller, quicker, and more intense. In place of wood, a growing number of roller coasters were constructed of steel by the 1970s. This allowed ride designers to include bigger, more thrilling aspects in an effort to draw in more visitors. Roller coaster safety significantly increased during this time of innovation. They were able to function more safely and effectively than before thanks to new technology. In order to prevent riders from touching anything while on these fast rides, roller coaster manufacturers started to think of clearance envelopes. Frequently, the trains themselves were built to restrict how far passengers might travel. The over-the-shoulder restraint gained popularity as roller coasters started turning upside down by the late 1970s. The rider's ability to travel long distances was severely constrained by this form of the harness. Deep sides on the trains of looping roller coasters were frequently present, greatly limiting the passenger's ability to move their arms and legs. To restrict movements and establish a safe clearance envelope, some older rides had their trains modified or altered. Some wooden roller coasters include side panels on the trains that keep riders from reaching the outside. All of these layouts kept passengers confined inside the trains, limiting their mobility and possibly reducing rider comfort. In other instances, the ride's components have been altered to protect riders. Many other roller coasters have supports that have grooves cut out of them as a temporary solution to make a suitable clearance envelope. A lot has changed for roller coasters since the 1970s. More intense than ever, rides are taller and faster. Additionally, the kind of restraint utilized on roller coasters has also altered. Modern rides frequently include reduced lap bar restraints to improve rider comfort and offer a more thrilling experience. These restrain riders by placing a harness over the laps. During the ride, these restraints permit passengers to move their upper bodies, which improves their ability to access objects near the roller coaster's track. Also, a lot of roller coaster manufacturers have started to develop more open train designs. These expose riders to the elements, lessening their wind protection and bringing them into contact with their surroundings. Because of this, contemporary roller coasters are required to use rigorous clearance envelopes that safeguard all riders. Although many roller coaster manufacturers were aware that parks wouldn't want to purchase their rides if the riders got wounded, The American Society of Testing and Materials, however, released a standard for ride design in 2004 that include precise specifications for clearance envelopes. According to them, a further 3 inches or 76.2 millimeters are needed beyond the rider's greatest reach. Riders are safe because this distance gives them a margin of safety and prevents them from making contact with any object. But how do they determine the number of visitors who can attend? Human anthropometry, the study of human body measurements, is used for this. The demographics of the riders who are able to ride the attraction are measured. This is probably an adult guy in the 95th percentile for many larger roller coasters, which indicates that their reach exceeds that of 95% of the population. As roller coasters are created for various target groups, employing a variety of train designs combined with a variety of restraint kinds, clearance envelopes are specific to each ride. As a result, several roller coaster manufacturers test the ride's pull-through capabilities before they're finished. During this, the ride's train is tied to a clearance envelope, which is typically represented by a metal or wooden frame. The train is then slowly hauled through the roller coaster's track. Engineers monitor this to ensure the envelope doesn't touch the ride's track, supports, or other nearby objects. The roller coaster can only start testing at its top speed after the pull-through is finished. It's unsettling to consider touching something while riding a roller coaster. So terrifying that ride designers deliberately provide the impression that passengers could collide with a portion of the ride to increase the excitement factor. Today, a lot of coasters have near-miss components, which are roller coaster components that cause riders to pass surrounding objects in order to give you the sense that you might bang your head as you fly through. Several rides use tunnels. Other rides achieve the same effect by abruptly sinking under a different section of their track or support system. Foot choppers, a type of roller coaster where passengers are seated below the track, can give passengers the opposite experience. To give riders the impression that they might hit their legs instead, the inverted rides sometimes drop near to the ground. Other varieties of roller coasters have gained notoriety for including a variety of near-miss experiences as part of the ride. The wing coaster has a thin, wide design and seats passengers over the edges of the track. As a result, the trains can pass through signs, in between buildings, or even through the supports of the ride itself. You don't need to duck to protect your head, but you can if you want to because with all contemporary near-miss elements, the clearing envelope is taken into account. However, occasionally a ride's clearance envelope is less than the desired riding population. When this occurs, roller coaster manufacturers frequently impose maximum height restrictions, prohibiting riders beyond a specific height. This prevents riders from longer reaches from inadvertently violating the clearance envelope. Most of these maximum height limits fall below 2 meters or 6 feet 6 inches, making them inapplicable to most people. The world's longest roller coaster, Steel Dragon 2000 at Nagashima Spaland, has a 6-foot height restriction, yet it seems to dislike tall people. Now we have a pretty good idea why this sign is there and why you should probably keep your hands to yourself. So, are you one of those people who can ride the world's longest roller coaster? If yes, then would you? Tell us about it down in the comments section. Also, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for post notifications. I'll see you at the next one.